Okay, this is my old stovetop and it works fine. It'll power on and heat up and everything like that. The problem was that I dropped a coffee mug and it hit on this edge and broke the glass. So initially I was looking to replace just the glass top, but it's an older stovetop and just finding the glass itself was too difficult, so I ended up buying a new one and just having it shipped. It's a 32-inch stovetop and then the stove below it. So I'm going to go through a quick video of how to replace this. Okay, in my situation this will pop right out. And you can see it's pretty nasty underneath it. So I'm going to clean all of this up. But this is the electrical connection. And then if you look down there, that's the junction box for the electricity. So I'm going to get all of this disconnected and then I am going to retie into the junction box. Okay, so we got the left hand around right there. So we're good to go. Okay, I just turned off the power, so I'm going to test and try to turn this on and see if it heats up here. This is pretty dirty, but I'm too lazy to clean it. Okay, this is my new range stovetop. So I'm going to open this up. Hopefully it's black. Okay, so as we open this junction box here, we need to just test to be sure that there's no electricity. So I just have a tester and I'll show you real quick. If you take this here, it'll show you that there is electricity and you're about to be electrocuted. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this at the junction box, and you pretty much just unscrew. So they gave me quite a bit of slack, so I'm gonna just take this and then I'll have two hands. Okay, now that I have no power, I just disconnected all of these and I am going to attempt to get the old connection out. Okay, so I'm just trying to disconnect the electrical junction box connection here, and it has little pins. If you get those in, then it'll pop right out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a large screwdriver to just push these pins in. Okay, to clean it, I am going to use paper towels, my vacuum, and Clorox wipes. So first thing I'm going to do though is I don't want to get water on these, so I'm not going to connect them, but I'm going to cap them. Just so that the water spilling doesn't get on them. Water and electricity is not ideal. Okay, and then I'll put some towels and first one goes. Some parts I'm going to use this. Okay, I'm happy with what that is. And me. Okay, I am happy with that. It is clean enough for me. Okay, now that I have that all cleaned out, I am going to bring over the other one and connect the electrical. Okay, so this is what I have for the electrical, and I need to connect it into that box. So I took the connector off of the old stovetop. You can buy these at Home Depot. I just don't want to go to Home Depot. So I'm going to thread through the electrical wires, and I'm going to try to get these straight so I can connect them to the wires there. And this piece just connects, it actually screws into this, and then that'll make a connection on the junction box to connect the electrical cords. The good thing is they gave a decent amount of slack, so I'm going to thread those through here, and then I'm going to connect that, hopefully. And then I'm just going to use this small screwdriver to get that pin to pop out so that this stays connected to the junction box. I can just rotate it and find those pins. Okay, and that is connected. So pretty simple on the electrical. In this case, I have 3 connections from the stovetop. I have the black, green, and red. The black is normally the lead, so it's always going to have electricity. So you always want to be cautious with the black. That's the one that's the most dangerous. The red is an electrical current carrier, so be aware of that. And then green represents the ground. In this case, there's not a white. White's the neutral cable. So I'm just going to re-screw that down because it's just going to kind of stay out of the way. Okay. In this case, I have the ground from the power supply and the ground going to the stove itself, just because there's three connections here. There's the power coming in, there's the stove, and then there's the stove top. So in this case, these are copper wires, which are ground, which is the same as green. So I'm going to connect those down. And then I put those caps on just to prevent from water getting on it when I was cleaning. So I'm going to remove those caps. I'm going to try to separate these all out. And then I'll take the 3 lines of black, connect those. These are 3 totally different wires, but they'll connect just fine. And with these, as you screw it, it will connect the wires and it'll clamp down. And once it clamps down, you know it's good. A lot of electricians won't use a electrical tape. They just trust that these are good. It's in a junction box, so it kind of makes sense that you don't really need those. And then same thing on red. And people make well, people point together inside the connector. And I'm just pulling out the compressor. I'm just pull it in here, and then I need to make it all. Change the cover. Okay, now I intend to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and place this in here. Okay, so I have to cut out a 1/2 inch of tile on each side in order to make the new one fit. So I am going to use an angle grinder to cut it out, and let's go from there. Okay, I'm not going to commentate this just because I want to get it done today, but I'm pretty much just cutting a 1/2 inch into the tile, and then I'll cut out the wood, and then this will fit. That's what does it. Okay, I thought the support did not need to do with port, but I'm not sure if I have to actually, it's still good, let's get it. So close. You're so far. I realize I watched the corner there. The mist. Awesome, so I am going to clean this guy up. All right, here's the final product, and I did some cooking on this yesterday, and it heats up really, really quick, where before it seemed to be a little bit delayed. I boiled some water, and it heated up faster than my old stovetop. So excited for the stovetop, fun project. Ran into a couple issues just having to cut out tile and whatnot. Just for a note, I didn't put the clamps to push it against the tile. And the reason being, I'm going to look to replace some of these tiles and potentially try to lay them closer, or I'm going to replace this grout. I'm not sure yet, but just wanted to note that if you noticed it in the video, but excited to have the new stove in place. Thanks for watching today.